Welcome in today's episode of Fact-Checking Some Common Misconceptions About Martial Law in the Philippines. I am Jamer Smith Ebora from Institute of Hotel and Restaurant Management. Martial law is the imposition of military power over civilian government, usually in times of emergency or unrest. In the Philippines, martial law is commonly associated with President Ferdinand Marcos. Totalitarian government which began on September 21, 1972. Marcos justified this declaration as a response to rising social unrest, communicates insurgency, and alleged threats to national security. However, the implementation of martial law resulted in widespread human rights violations, including as extrajudicial killings, enforced disappearance, torture, and restriction on the media and political opposition. Now that you know a little background about martial law, let's now proceed to the misconception about martial law. Undoing erroneous nostalgia for the Marcos era means dispelling myths and disclosing historical facts about that period. One common misperception is that the Marcos administration brought economic prosperity and stability to the Philippines. According to Punong Bayan 2023, while there were economic improvements during Marcos' first years in office, they were overshadowed by widespread corruption, crony capitalism, and unstable debt-driven development. The economy deteriorated progressively, culminating in a financial crisis that helped bring the regime down. Furthermore, historical documents and accounts from survivors and witnesses documents of countless instances of state-sponsored brutality and killings during martial law. According to the article of Mendoza R. Bulaong and Mendoza G. 2022, the Philippines' false nostalgia for authoritarian rule refers to the phenomenon in which some individuals or groups in the Philippines remember the period of martial law under Ferdinand Marcos with nostalgia or fondness, despite the numerous human rights violations and atrocities committed during that time. This false nostalgia typically portrays the Marcos era as one of stability, order, and economic progress, while downplaying or ignoring the regime's harsher aspects. This false nostalgia can be dangerous because it distorts historical facts and erases past tragedies, potentially leading to a revisionist view of history. It also undermines the effort of those who resisted Marcos' regime and fought for democracy and human rights in the Philippines. It is essential to educate people about the facts of martial law, particularly human rights, corruption, and economic incompetence that defined the dictatorship of Ferdinand Marcos. Moving forward, let us talk about the only one executed, non-arrested under Marcos martial law. That is talk about in the article of Rappler Philippines. The belief that only one person was executed and no one was jailed under Marcos martial law is false. According to Rappler Philippines in 2018, martial law in the Philippines, which lasted from 1972 to 1981, led in widespread human rights violation, including extrajudicial killings, enforced disappearance, torture, and arbitrary arrest. Thousands of individuals were imprisoned and detained without due process, with many being tortured or assaulted. The exact number of victims is unknown, but human rights organizations suspect that tens of thousands were detained and tortured during this period. This is according to the Institute of Human Rights Upload Center. The Marcos administration incurred massive debt, resulting in an economic disaster in the 1980s that crippled the Philippine economy for years. While the Marcos administration made tremendous economic progress in its early years, these gains were overshadowed by widespread corruption, crony capitalism, and human rights atrocities. Furthermore, the government's rule of terror was marked by censorship, political repression, and dissent suppression. which made many Filipinos afraid and insecure the notion of a golden age. Under Marcos is thus a historical distortion that ignores this regime's negative impact on Philippine society and democracy. Lastly, the Rappler Philippines statement that there is no massacres during martial law. According to the article, a huge quantity of disinformation and propaganda was disseminated in order to control the narrative and silence resistance. During martial law, state troops perpetrated several documented crimes against citizens, activists, and perceived government opponents. One of the most notorious incidents was the Habida massacre in 1968, in which Muslim recruits in the Philippine military were allegedly killed for refusing to participate in clandestine mission to destabilize Sabah and Malaysia. The Habida massacre, also known as the Corregidor massacre, was a horrible event that occurred in 1968 under Ferdinand Marcos' presidency. It is recognized as one of the key events that resulted in the implementation of martial law in the Philippines. According to Redo 2023, the incident happened on the Corregidor Island as a group of Muslim recruits, known as the Habidas, were preparing for a covert mission. The recruiters were reportedly planning to invade Sabah and Malaysia, which was claimed by both the Philippines and Malaysia, and steer a rebellion against the Malaysian government. However, the operation was poorly planned and executed, leaving the recruits dissatisfied with both their treatment and the mission's objectives. Following a series of protests and a failed escape attempt, the recruits were allegedly executed by their superiors on March 18, 1968. The exact number of casualties is unknown. Estimates range from a few dozen to hundreds of deaths. To conclude, many Filipinos believe in this false statement, since some individuals might lack access to correct information or other perspectives. This might be due to censorship, limited media freedom, or a lack of knowledge and awareness of particular historical events. Politicians and interest groups may alter narrative to their advantage. They may incite nostalgia for authoritarian rule or disregard human rights violation in order to advance their goal or keep power. In certain circumstances, there may be deliberate attempts to rewrite history and paint historical events in a more favorable light. This can be done for political, ideological, or patriotic motivations, which leads to propagation or false narratives. A combination of these factors can result in the spread of false information and misconception about historical events and totalitarian governments. Addressing these issues requires a commitment to truth, transparency, and critical thinking, as well as action to provide access to accurate information and diverse perspectives. That ends our video for today. I know it's kind of overwhelming, but I hope you guys learned something about false information of our history. Thank you and have a nice day.